The lights were blazing in Nashville, and the Vikings hit the field for their final preseason tune-up against the Titans. It wasn't about the 23-13 loss. Preseason scores are like Monopoly money. What matters is who stepped up and who's got us dreaming big for the regular season. One name is screaming louder than the Gillerhorn: Max Brosmer, the undrafted rookie QB who's turning heads and sparking debates. Brosmer was straight-up electric, going 15 for 23 with 161 yards and a touchdown. This wasn't just a good game. It was his best yet, showing poise against Tennessee's first-team defense led by Jeffrey Simmons. The kid was decisive, accurate, and ran the offense like a seasoned vet, making us wonder, could he already be QB2 behind J.J. McCarthy? Here's the kicker: Brosmer's night could have been even bigger if not for a dropped pass on what was arguably his prettiest throw. A deep ball to Dante Fleming that should have gone for nearly 40 yards? Heartbreaker. Skull Nation, are you buying the Brosmer hype? Drop your thoughts in the comments. While Brosmer was slinging dimes, the other QB in the rotation, Brett Rypien, had a tougher night. He finished 7 of 14 for 62 yards with a pick that wasn't entirely his fault. Former Viking James Lynch got a piece of him as he threw. But let's be real, Rypien's performance was shaky, and a second interception that got overturned didn't help his case. The contrast between Brosmer's smoothness and Rypien's struggles was stark. With Brosmer likely locking down a roster spot, Rypien's headed for the practice squad unless something wild happens with Sam Howell, who sat this one out. Vikings news is buzzing. Do you think Rypien's got a shot to stick around? Or is Brosmer stealing the show? Here's the deal. The QB2 battle is heating up, and Brosmer's giving the coaching staff plenty to chew on. Could this undrafted gem climb even higher on the depth chart? Let's hear your predictions. Skull fans. Down on the field, it wasn't just the QBs making noise. Special teams had us on the edge of our seats. The punting competition between rookie Oscar Chapman and veteran Ryan Wright took a dramatic turn, and it wasn't about punts. It was all about holding for kicks, and Chapman's bobble on a 55-yard field goal attempt by Will Reichard was a gut punch. Ryan Wright, on the other hand, came through with a clean hold that set up Reichard for a booming 58-yarder. That kind of reliability might just lock right in for his 4th season as the Vikings punter. Chapman's been solid with his leg, but if he can't nail the holder role, he's likely headed to the practice squad via the international player pathway. Skull Nation, special teams matter. How much weight do you put on that holder miscue? Is Wright the clear choice, or should Chapman get another shot? Let's talk about it in the comments. Let's shift to the wide receiver room, where Miles Price is making a serious case to be a game-changer. This undrafted rookie out of Indiana has been a spark plug, especially as a returner. After an 81-yard kick return last week, he had another 28-yarder in this game, though a penalty wiped it out. Price has got that electric vibe, dodging defenders and showing confidence with the ball in his hands. But here's the concern. He nearly muffed a punt before securing it. If he's going to lock down a roster spot and the returner role, those hands need to be rock solid. Vikings news is all about Price's potential. Can he clean up the miscues and become our special teams ace? Drop your take below, and let's see if you're as hyped about this kid as I am. On the defensive side, undrafted free agent Chaz Chambliss was everywhere, racking up a team-high 7 tackles. This Georgia product showed up on both defense and special teams, proving he's got the motor to make an impact. His high-effort play could earn him a roster spot as a backup edge defender. Chambliss brings physicality and hustle, but his shorter arms and injury history, like that hamstring tweak during Shrine Bowl practice, raise questions about his ceiling. Still, nights like this show why the Vikings took a flyer on him post-draft. Skull fans, is Chambliss the next hidden gem for Brian Flores' defense? Or does he need to prove more to stick around? Hit the comments with your thoughts. Running back Xavier Scott started strong with a 23-yard carry that had us jumping out of our seats. But whispers of a possible injury after that play left us holding our breath. Details are murky, and as of now, there's no clear update on his status. Vikings news is still digging for answers. Scott's versatility has been a bright spot all preseason, with 72 yards from scrimmage against the Patriots last week. If he's sidelined, It could shake up the RB3 battle with Ty Chandler, who's been inconsistent. Stay tuned for updates. Skull Nation, what's your take on Scott's role if he's healthy? Can he overtake Chandler for that roster spot? Let's hear it in the comments. And keep those prayers up for Xavier. Wide receiver Dante Fleming had a chance to shine, hauling in 2 catches for 53 yards. But the one that got away, a perfect deep ball from Brosmer that could have pushed his night into the stratosphere, still stings. If Fleming had held on, we'd be talking about a breakout performance. The receiver room is thin with Jordan Addison's suspension and Jalen Nailor's injury, so every rep counts. Jeshaun Jones also impressed, catching all 4 targets for 41 yards, keeping the pressure on for those final roster spots. Skull Nation, who's your pick to step up at receiver? Fleming, Jones, or someone else? Drop your thoughts and let's debate. The defensive line showed some serious depth, with Levi Drake Rodriguez, Austin Keys, and Jonathan Harris each notching a sack. This unit is shaping up to be a strength, especially after adding big names like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. The Vikings front is looking nasty, and these rotational players are only adding to the hype. Rodriguez, in particular, has been turning heads before an injury sidelined him last week. His sack in this game proves he's back and ready to wreak havoc. Keys and Harris stepping up just shows how deep this group is. How excited are you for this D-line, Vikings fans? Is this the best front we've had in years? Let me know in the comments. Cornerback Zamea Vaughn had a moment he'd rather forget, slipping and missing a tackle on Van Jefferson, who took it 65 yards to the house. That play highlighted some real concerns about the Vikings' cornerback depth, especially with Mekhi Blackmon still playing in the preseason finale. Blackmon's presence in this game isn't a great sign for his roster security, and Vaughn's whiff didn't help the secondary's case. With Byron Murphy Jr. leading the group, the Vikings need someone to step up big time. Skull Nation, are you worried about our CB depth? Who's got to step up to lock down that secondary? Hit the comments with your takes. Safety Jay Ward had a roller coaster night. He got hurdled by a Titans running back. Ouch, but bounced back with a stellar tackle for loss later in the game. That kind of resilience is what we love to see from a young player fighting for a role. Ward's versatility could make him a valuable piece in Brian Flores' scheme, especially on special teams. But he's got to clean up those highlight reel lows to secure a spot. What do you think, Vikings fans? Is Ward's TFL enough to make up for that hurdle? Let's hear your thoughts below. Kicker Will Reichard had a mixed bag, missing a 55-yarder after Chapman's bobble but nailing a 58-yarder thanks to Wright's clean hold. He also came up just short on a 63-yard attempt to end the first half, while Titans kicker Joey Sly showed off with a 63-yarder that looked good from 70. Reichard's leg is strong, but consistency will be key as the regular season looms. The Vikings need a reliable kicker to avoid those heart-stopping moments in close games. Skull Nation, how confident are you in Reichard heading into Week 1? Drop your thoughts and let's talk kicking game. Let's talk about the bigger picture. Roster cuts are coming, and Tuesday's deadline is looming large. Brosmer's likely safe, but players like Rippon, Chapman, and even Ty Chandler could be on the bubble. The Vikings front office has some tough calls to make, and every snap from this game will be dissected. The receiver room is a mess with injuries and suspensions, and the cornerback depth is raising red flags. Could we see a trade or a waiver wire pickup before the season starts? Vikings news is buzzing with possibilities. What moves do you want to see, Skull fans? A veteran receiver? A new CB? Hit the comments with your wish list. The defensive line's depth is a bright spot, but the trade of Harrison Phillips to the Jets caught everyone off guard. It signals confidence in guys like Rodriguez, Harris, and Jalen Redmond, but it's still a bold move. The Vikings are clearly banking on their young talent to step up. This trade could reshape the defensive front, especially with Flores' creative schemes. Are we looking at a top-tier D-line in 2025, or did we give up too much with Phillips? Skull Nation, what's your take on the Phillips trade? Big risk or big reward? Let's hear it. As the preseason wraps, the focus shifts to Week 1. The Vikings face a tough NFC North slate, and with 2 international games on the horizon, against the Steelers in Dublin and the Browns in London, the regular season is going to be wild. J.J. McCarthy's ready to lead, but the supporting cast needs to step up. The injuries to guys like Rondale Moore and Jalen Naylor hurt, but players like Price and Scott are showing they can ball. The question is, who's going to make the 53-man roster and carry that momentum forward? What's got you most excited for the regular season? Vikings fans, drop your predictions in the comments. The Vikings' journey to the playoffs starts now, and Skull Nation is ready to roar. This preseason gave us plenty to cheer for: Brosmer's rise, Price's electric returns, and a D-line that's looking ferocious. But there's work to do, and we're counting on Kevin O'Connell to get this squad ready. Don't miss a single update. Follow Vikings news for the latest on roster cuts, trades, and more. Hit that like button, drop your hottest takes in the comments, and subscribe to join the Skull Nation army. Let's keep the purple pride alive. Share this video with your fellow Vikings fans, and get ready for a wild 2025 season. Skull Vikings!